Testing. You can hear me? What's up, fellas, ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages? It's Wake Up Mintzy. I'm fired up, dude. I'm in a damn good mood. It's 2025. We all got a lot to be grateful and thankful for. We're coming to you not live from the Barstool Sports Chicago office.
That's good.
And I'm joined by Ohio's Tate. Cheers. Drinking some Stella Blue.
right.
The only way to start your morning. Tate, wild move drinking the iced coffee in the 25-degree weather. Care to
Listen.
explain?
Well, let me tell you something else is a wild move. I biked to work today.
There you go.
That's snow, yeah. I biked in, and then I always put a coffee in the fridge, Stella Blue, pour it over ice after a little bit. Way I start every morning.
There you go. I start my mornings with Stella Blue as well, and you should too. Barstool Big Cat, a great American. But it's not even just about supporting Big Cat. It's freaking great coffee.
The thing is it's good.
The thing is it's really good. And whether you like the cold brew or the hot Tate, wild move, like I said, I mean, I'm a cold brew fan, but man, we got, 20, 25 degrees
I
out
drink
there?
cold brew every single day, and I haven't had a hot coffee in 10 years.
Okay, you're a cold brew guy. See,
Every day.
I'm a seasonal guy. If it's cold outside, I'll drink hot. If it's hot outside, I'll drink cold, which I think is more of like a sane thing. As always, brought to you by Dude Wipes, cleaning up all our messes. Find them at Walmart, Target, Amazon, all over the World Wide Web. One use of Dude Wipes will change your life. You'll never need dry, scratchy, crappy toilet paper again. We've also got Barstool Beef, newest Barstool employee, who's awesome, by the way. Great.
He's cool.
He's just a good-ass dude. But he's going to be joining us at 9:30. Looking forward to catching up with him. But we got some fun stuff with Tate. I mean, let's call it what it is, dude. The Ohio State Buckeyes.
The Ohio State.
Halfway there. Semifinal on Friday night.
Yep.
Cotton Bowl in Dallas. I don't know if you saw Dallas getting like 10 inches of snow this week.
Yeah, my buddies have gone to each of the games so far. They went to Tennessee game at home. They went to the Rose Bowl. They're not going to Dallas because it is going to not be very fun.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. Like, it's one thing when it snows up here in Chicago because you're used to it. When it snows like that in Texas, everything shuts down.
Yeah.
They're not used to the infrastructure at all, and I'm curious to see how that affects it. But what's fun with Tate, you found quite the thing. So we're going to talk about in chat. Feel free to interact as well. You put out a video.
Mm-hmm.
So I first, with 10 options for your punishment if Ohio State loses to Texas, but I want to get into beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
You did this punishment thing before the year.
Mm-hmm.
What was how did the idea come about? Were you just that confident about how good the 2024 Buckeyes are going to be?
Let me tell you this. Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Ever since, I remember last year, I was still coaching basketball, teaching high school at the time. We started just adding dudes in the portal. Like Caleb Downs comes, Julian Sayin comes, Judkins comes. Seth McLaughlin comes, and I'm like, holy shit, this team's going to be legit. And then everyone starts coming back. And so I've never been more confident in a team in my life than I was for the Buckeyes coming into this year. And I was sitting down over the summer. This was well before I posted it. And I had the idea of doing this. And then I'm mad because the Florida State guy, remember the dude who said he was going to eat dog poop?
Yeah, and if they lost the opening game to Georgia
He stole
Tech.
my thunder. He posted one. I was like, fuck. So then I came, but I had one for every single team. I posted it, I think, like the day before the Akron game. And it said, if I lose to Akron, I will quit my job at Barstool. I'll move to Akron, Ohio, and I will become a teacher at LeBron's I Promise School. So everything had to do with the other team.
Yeah, it was like a theme.
Yeah. So like if you, I don't know, lose to, what was another one? Western Michigan, the Broncos. I had to drive a white Ford Bronco from Maine to California. Can't go over 55 miles an hour because that's how fast OJ was going. So it was always a theme. Then we got to the playoff, and I started to let the fans get involved and choose them for me.
Okay, and then the one you had to do this year was the famous the Peeps. For the duck. Where did the Peeps idea come from?
So Peeps are...
Peeps.
They look like little yellow ducks. I don't think they're ducks, but they're little chicks. But they look like ducks. I made that one knowing damn well that we were going to Oregon. And I think we were 1-point favorites at the time I made the graphic. And I was like, all right, we could lose that.
Yeah, that was the only one really before the year you were like real concerned about.
Yeah, so that's why I made it one that I didn't think was that hard. Like if you look at my graphic, obviously if we lost in the non-conference, I was either going to have to quit my job. I was going to have to drive a Ford Bronco. Marshall, that one got a little touchy because I did I was going to have to get my pilot's license. So those sucked. The Big Ten ones, you could tell how confident I thought we were based on what the bet was. So like Iowa, I had to shave my head and donate it to their hospital. That could happen. It's not the end of the world.
If the game was at Iowa, it could.
It could.
They ain't winning.
Purdue, who I knew we were going to kick the shit out of because Purdue is terrible and we're at home, I would have to get the Drew Brees birthmark tattooed on my face, which my girlfriend was not happy about. She gets to veto. There's a new rule in our relationship. She gets to veto.
That's fair.
She used a veto on Texas. A little foreshadowing.
Okay.
But anyways, so, yeah, I didn't think we were going to – I thought it was going to be close against Oregon. I thought we would beat them. Ended up doing 10 peeps per point that Oregon scores. They scored 32 points. I'd eat 320 peeps.
And that I watched a lot of that.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, that's not easy.
It was the worst. It was the worst thing I've ever done.
How long did it end up taking you?
I went to New York. That was the week I went to New York, and I finished it during a game. I think it was on Thursday. So I think I started Sunday, finished it Thursday. If you followed along, you know that in Chicago, they didn't have the yellow peeps. They only had the like Halloween ones, which were fucking huge, Mintzy. They were like twice as big, twice as sugary. So I almost died in the first day. Then I got to New York.
How many did you eat in Chicago? Do you remember?
I think I ate 60. And I was like, I can't do it. I almost quit. But then I got on Amazon and ordered yellow ones in New York. And I'll never eat a peep for the rest of my life, ever again. But the yellow ones were more doable than the orange ones. And I ate like 60 or 70 a day. I threw up like 10 times.
Damn, dude. Well, anything for the Buckeyes. And then what was the Michigan punishment?
It was supposed to be, it had an asterisk by it. People get on me about it. I feel I'm as comfortable as that as I've ever been. I said, if Ohio State loses to Michigan, I will work for free for a year for Dave. But he had to put something up too. If we won, I got double the salary.
And he didn't take it because y'all were a 21-point favorite.
Yeah,
so
I asked him 100 times. I asked him when we were 7-point favorites at the beginning of the year, 8-point favorites. He didn't want to do it, which is fine. That was his call. He didn't want to do it. But yeah, no, I'm not. People are like, yo, you should have to give your money back to the company. That's not how a bet works. So,
no.
Whatever.
No,
yeah.
I think that's fair, for sure. And so you did a video with 10 suggestions. You had 927 people turn in ideas?
We started doing, for the Tennessee game, we started coming up with letting the fans submit. A couple hundred did for Tennessee. I had 450 for Oregon. And then I opened it up to Texas, 925 submissions of ideas.
Everything's bigger in Texas.
Everything's big. And they had some crazy ones. Listen, for when we play the next game, I read every single one of them. If you think yours is good, it's got to be creative and it's got to be funny and it's got to be attainable. It has to be attainable. The amount of people that said, like, go cut the testicles off a bull. I can't fucking do that. Like, go walk to Texas. I can't do that.
Yeah.
But I came up with the top
It's
10.
everything within reason.
And I think they're pretty out of reason, some of them that I'm doing.
Yeah, no. And so I saw your video you posted earlier with your top 10, and a few of them I had thoughts. So the girlfriend said okay to the branding?
So she...
Because
I contacted...
that's a tough one. She's probably the only one that's going to have to see it all the time.
Yeah, I reached out to PBR. Actually, I tweeted. I was like, I need someone from...
Yeah, so I saw that, and they responded.
Yeah, they responded right away. Well, they're coming to Chicago on Saturday.
Okay.
Game's on Friday. And I was like...
Bull riding.
So I was going to do, professional bull riding. I didn't know how dangerous it was to ride a bull.
Dude, yeah.
I didn't know that. But so I texted my girlfriend. I was like, hey, can I ride a bull? I thought it was going to be the easiest yes of all time. She said, no, I'm using my...
The problem is when you get thrown off, you can get trampled.
Well, I didn't know a bull weighed 1,100 pounds. So she like sent me a video. She's like, watch this. And it was like people on their first ride, like breaking their back, being paralyzed, breaking their neck, getting trampled on.
I don't think our insurance is going to cover that.
So, yeah. So she used her veto. So canceled PBR. But yeah, we have our top 10 from there.
All right, so I watched the video. Some of them to bring up here. You mentioned the Big Texan Challenge, which is what Billy Football did one time, and I think he ate 50 ounces of steak.
Did he finish?
No, he ate 50 ounces of 72.
Did he finish the sides?
I think he not quite. I think it was close.
I gotta watch it. It's probably on tape somewhere.
So the Big Texan Challenge is in Amarillo. It's a 72-ounce steak, but it's also the problem is steak's big, but you could probably, I don't know. I feel like you could house a bunch of meat that gets you on the sides.
Yeah,
because it's the potatoes and bread.
Well, people were like, "Do the Big Texan, do the Big Texan, do the Big Texan." I'll do the Big Texan, but I made the challenge or the punishment part of it is I have to drive there and home.
You have to drive home immediately after?
Yeah, so I have to drive 15 hours. Like, I'll wake up, I'll drive there, I'll do the Big Texan on live stream. Whether I finish it or not, like, that's not the punishment. That's the entertaining part. Then I have to drive home.
Yeah, that drive home after stuffing yourself 15 hours.
I'll probably sleep in the fucking middle of... Well, I'll probably sleep in Texas, honestly. It's such a big state.
Yeah, you might could eat the steak if you just made the deal steak, no sides.
Yeah, I heard that the sides fuck you, like the potato.
Well, it's just all the carbs expand your stomach. And
I also was reading reviews. Have you done it?
No, I've never done it. I've eaten like a 32-ounce steak for fun before.
Was it good?
Yeah, you get a little tired toward the end. It's like so much beef. It's like an overload.
I can eat a lot. I have no problem eating or the steak, but I read, and this is no offense, maybe I'll have to find out for myself, that the steak is very like grainy and stringy to like make you like have to chew and make it even more difficult.
Oh,
so
that's next level. Okay, so that was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Then you mentioned branding. That's wild to me because like anything when it comes to like tats and branding, I'm like paranoid about.
I didn't think people would like it. I think that's the leader in the clubhouse right now. I thought, because I said this, the branding, I will get branded. I get to choose the size, what it is, and the location. So if you're okay with that, fine. But when I have a tiny, longhorn on my ass,
that would be funny.
It's funny, but don't cry when it's like not a fucking like
half your body.
Quinn Ewers face on my fucking bicep. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So if people want that, I thought that one of the 10 was like the 8th best one. I'll probably cry on fucking stream and they'll see that on when I get branded, but then it's whatever. Like there's no like, I don't know. I just didn't think branding was going to be the number one option.
When then some of the other ones were interesting. The mechanical bull, and you mentioned 7 minutes total of riding a mechanical bull.
It's minutes per points Texas wins by.
That one, okay.
So if they beat us by 20.
I have thoughts on that because I just rode a mechanical bull in Nashville at the DraftKings event.
Mm-hmm.
And I made it on the mechanical bull for over 2 minutes, which I was shocked by. Cause I thought
on one try?
Yeah. And it was like they had it going hard, dude. The dude was going hard at me. But 31, I mean, like after I was done with it once, I was like, man, I don't want any more. I was like, 31 minutes is.
Yeah. Well, it could be whatever. It could be 1 minute. It could be 15 minutes. Like if we would have done it against Oregon and we beat them by 21, you'd have been there 21 minutes.
Oh, it's the final score. Okay, it's not total.
It's yeah. There's
okay, that's it. Yeah, I was gonna say because I thought you were doing the total points thing again, and I was like, man, you ain't gonna be able to do 35 minutes of mechanical bull.
There's a couple that are total points. I know have you had Rocky Mountain oysters?
So I haven't, but they serve them in a lot of Colorado places and the bull testicles. I haven't, but I've heard they're not that bad.
Listen, I got to get better information because the amount of people that reached out saying, you got to do the bull testicles. You got to do the bull testicles. Okay, I put it in the final 10, and now everyone's like, that would be lame. They're good. I didn't know that. I thought they were bull testicles.
Still texture. It's a weird texture.
And that would be have to sit down and eat them on live stream, can't leave till they're gone.
Okay. What are some of the other ones that I mentioned?
The one that I thought was going to win, Jack McCarthy liked it the most, but not a lot of people are voting for it, is a piercing of a bull ring between my nostrils for a week. That's one.
And that got okay by the girl?
Yeah, for a week.
But like the piercing, you're saying you could see it for like.
Yeah, it says it could take 6 to 8 months, but I don't know. Oh, the good thing is we're going to win, Mintzy. But
yeah.
So bull ring was 1. Rocky Mountain oysters was 2. I know my birthday's next week. Put it on your calendars. I do have birthday plans, but I said I will go to Longhorn Steakhouse over here, and from open to close, I think it's like 10 a.m. to like 1 a.m. or something like that. I will sit at the Longhorn the entire day, and I have to eat a steak for every hour to come off the time. So I have to sit there. If I eat a steak, it comes down to midnight.
So it's kind of like the Waffle House challenge,
but for Longhorn.
Okay.
The one Big Cat came up with, which I think is actually really good, and it's not getting enough love, is you have to watch the worst rated Matthew McConaughey movies, starting at the bottom, on repeat until you eat, it's like 10 pounds of steak. So like it's like 10 ounces or 5 ounces every point Texas scores. So if they score 30 points, that's 10 pounds.
That's a lot of steak.
And I just have to sit on the couch and eat steak while watching the worst Matthew McConaughey movies.
Yeah, till you finish 150 ounces?
Yeah.
Dude, 150 ounces?
I know. And people are like, get branded. All right, dude, that's what you fucking want.
But having said all this, I mean, I think it's great content. You feel pretty damn good about the game, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. And so interesting, like I said, Dallas snowing this week. It's like 10 inches, so it could be a logistical challenge for a lot of Ohio State fans traveling.
We sold out of our I think we each got 15,000.
Okay.
And we sold out our 15,000. How do they decide the other 70,000?
I feel like a lot of it's probably corporate. I mean, not all of it.
Let's just make sure it gets split up down the middle. This ain't supposed to be a home game for Texas.
I know. Ohio State, obviously they did it themselves, the Michigan loss, but the path they've got, Tennessee, Oregon, Texas, and Dallas, ain't no joke. They made it look like a joke the first 2 weeks.
I'm going to go to bat for my boys real quick, Mintzy. First of all, what it could have been was Tennessee, the hardest first-round matchup by a mile. Oregon on the West Coast. Texas and Dallas. Could have been Georgia and Atlanta if Georgia would have won. And we will have beaten number 1. I think it's 1. What's Penn State? 4?
They were
actually the 4, but they got bumped.
Yeah. Texas was the 3, and
Texas is 3. We also beat Indiana. We also would have beaten Tennessee, and we also would then beat Notre Dame or Penn State again. We will have beaten more than half the teams in the college football playoff if we win it all.
Yeah,
that's the greatest run of all time.
I don't know. I think that 2019 LSU run's pretty. I mean, they beat.
They were a great team, but I would say and they went undefeated.
And then they won. I think they beat 5 top 10 teams too.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay, then I stand. If they did that, then I stand corrected because I think we'll have beaten 6 of the top 11 or something like that.
One thing that I'm learning from Tate as a Buckeye fan, and obviously I know Ohio State Michigan's like the biggest rivalry in college football. That's not news to anybody. But you still are pained about this Michigan loss.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Dude, y'all have a chance to win the national title.
I am excited about the national title. A national title is a national title. But the Michigan game's also the Michigan game. And that's 4 years in a row where we haven't won the Michigan game. And if you look at any true – I'm not backing down from what I said after the game. Any true Ohio State fan, the number one thing on the checklist to start the year is to beat Michigan. Beat Michigan, win the Big Ten, win the national title. Now, college football has changed where you don't have to do the first two to win the third. So, yeah, we're going to get a ring. We're going to hang up a banner. They're all national champions. I will be the first one shouting off the fucking mountains that we're national champions. Lost Michigan.
But it's like a weird thing, though, because it's like I think the Michigan loss it turns out it might have been necessary, specifically just because I watched that Michigan game, and I've never seen a team like play tighter, really. I mean, you just could see how nervous they were the whole game, and obviously the kicker missing.
The coaches were nervous.
Yeah, everybody was.
God damn.
And then y'all were running the ball up the middle all the time, and the thing was, I mean, you got Ferraris in the garage with Jeremiah Smith, who's like already the best receiver in college football as a freshman, which I've like never. I mean, I've seen like insane receivers in college football, but I've never seen someone at this level.
Do you remember earlier this season? You might have been one of them because you're an SEC homer, which is fine. Were you on Team Ryan Williams at the beginning of the year?
Over Jeremiah?
Yes.
No, I didn't say that.
There's some people that I could pull up the receipts that said Jeremiah is not on Ryan Williams' level. Jeremiah Smith is on top 10 receiver in the NFL level, like tomorrow.
Yeah, he's 6'3", 215. He's only 19 years old, but he's got the size-speed combo that's like, I mean, he looks like he's a grown man. He's only 19 out there. And with him,
2 more years, Mintzy.
Yeah, it's crazy. But the thing was that Michigan loss, I think, was needed to get Chip Kelly to open up the offense because y'all were not using those guys. And then the last 2 weeks, y'all just opened it up. And, like, you've been a Will Howard truther all year because I know he took a lot of shit during the year.
Yep.
But he's an accurate dude.
He is. I have followed Ohio State from the day I was born. He is, and I think there is something to be said for people that grew up in Ohio and went to Ohio State. And he didn't do either of that. He grew up in Pennsylvania.
Grew up a Penn State fan.
Yeah, grew up a Penn State fan, went to Kansas State. And yeah, he's a hired gun. He's a mercenary for 1 year. He has bought in and been the best leader that we have had at that position and as long as I can recall. We've had, and he's very talented and he's very good. The amount of people that say like, hey, we downgraded from Kyle McCord are fucking clueless. Where we upgraded more than any, we've had talented dudes in that room. We have not had a leader like Will Howard. And that's going to be one of the reasons why we win the national championship.
I feel like he got a real bad rap for what happened at the end of the Oregon game because he actually played his ass off the whole game and just made a mistake at the end.
And I think, so the 2 games that we lost this year.
I'm talking about the loss to Oregon.
Yeah. The 2 games we lost. One was to Oregon. He had 326 yards.
Yeah, he scored 31. He scored 31 points.
Okay. The second one, and I don't know this, if you watch the game, the dude got knocked the fuck out. He got concussed. And then we also, our coaches fucked him on running the ball on 3rd and 5 instead of like, let the dude sling it. He made a bad decision. He made a bad throw. But Will Howard was judged on his 2 losses when if you look at literally everything else and now what he's done in the playoffs. Did you see Emmanuel Acho chirping Will Howard 2 days ago?
I did not. What did he say?
He said
I don't like watch it. I support Barstool and kind of, like I'll see clips on Twitter, but
Acho said that Will Howard is like far and away or whatever he said. Ohio State has the worst quarterback left in the college football playoff.
That's a wild take.
That's fucking bullshit. He has more passing yards and more passing touchdowns than all 4 remaining. And now I get he has the best fucking weapons. But what can you say about Will Howard that shows that he's worse than Riley Leonard, Quinn Ewers? I'd start Will over both of them.
Look, I'm a believer as well, and when I look at this Ohio State team, what I see is a complete football team. And you look at the 4 teams left in the field; they're all great. I mean, you're not getting to the Final Four without being really good. But when you look at the explosiveness of Ohio State versus all 3 of the other teams, it's like not even real how much more explosive Ohio State is. And all 4 teams have great defenses. Mm-hmm. Nobody's questioning that, but
yeah, why didn't we, it twists me on the inside still to see how explosive we are, and we scored 10 fucking points. And I was at the game. I was sitting right there watching.
I really think, though, like I said, I repeat it, not to beat the dead horse, but I think the Michigan loss galvanized the team, opened up the playbook, and it may have been necessary for the national championship run.
People are going to make that point, and it is well heard that the way that game went opened up our playbook, and now we're just beating the shit out of teams.
Yeah.
Totally fair. I wish we could have learned that from maybe just looking at the fact that we had 15 stars amongst our 3 receivers that we start. Like, why did it take a loss to figure out we should fucking throw the ball to Jeremiah Smith?
No, I agree with that.
That hurts. That hurts. We should have just thrown the ball to him because he's a fucking monster, and then we'd be, the one loss to Oregon, it sucks, but
that's not a big deal. Like it was the Michigan loss is the one, especially after losing three in a row. But you know what? I mean, y'all are the favorite to win the national title, and you took Ohio State after the Michigan loss, right?
Day after. People are saying that everyone jumped off. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be clips out there. That's part of being a fan, is that you'll have clips out there where it's like, oh, this guy fucking sucks. And then 2 weeks later, he's like, oh, he's great. Yeah. The second we lost to Michigan, I'm in the stands. I gave my instant reaction. I said, you got to fire Ryan Day because he'd lost 4 times in a row. The very next morning, as I drove back to Chicago at 5 a.m, I put my camera up there and I just talked for 10 minutes. I said, you got to keep Ryan Day. And I said, I'm sad about the game and I wasn't excited for the playoff, but you got to keep him and we might go win it all. And I put my money where my mouth was. I put on a good bet for myself.
What'd you get at 5-1?
I got it at plus 475 on DraftKings Sportsbook the morning after. And now they're, minus 110?
Yeah, and that's probably, I feel like that's still a good bet. They're 6-point favorite against Texas, and they would be favored by...
Give me Penn State.
Something like that over Notre Dame. Penn State. I was going to, as far as the Texas matchup, when you look at it, Texas getting to play in Dallas, that's a big edge. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah,
I do like the fact that it's on turf for Ohio State
because
of speed receivers. I think that helps. Quinn Ewers is going to have to play the game of his life to keep up here because Ohio State's going to score some points, as good as Texas defense is. And look, don't get me wrong, Texas is a great team. I'm not saying that. They've been inconsistent on offense all year. Mm-hmm. They played great against Clemson. That was their best offensive effort in the entire season. Scored 38 points. They ran the ball for almost 300 yards. The running game's been inconsistent, and there's been so many 20-10, 17-7, wins like that all year. They're going to have to score more points against Ohio State.
Yeah.
They just are. And,
Ohio State is a lot of times when you have a really explosive offense, you get into a shootout. Or if you have a really good defense, you play 20-17 games. Ohio State, it's crazy, but they just do. They have the best offense left in the playoff.
No doubt.
And I think they have the best defense left in the draft. They have the most talented. They are, we could beat you 17-10 because of our defense, but also we could beat you 45-42 because of our offense. The problem is we're going to beat you fucking 45-10 because we have both. God, I'm getting too hyped up.
You should be getting hyped up.
We're fucking good.
I know. I'm jealous. I'm trying to live vicariously through your energy because I was so excited for Ole Miss to hopefully make.
I got a question for you, Mintzy. Speaking of Ole Miss,
okay,
and this is totally off topic, but there's a lot of scuttlebutt on the message boards yesterday and on Ohio State Twitter because one of our freshman running backs just entered the portal, and the thought is, can Judkins come back for another year?
Y'all got the money.
We do. Would he do it? Trey's gone. Travion's gone. And we've got some dudes coming in. But I feel like if you are willing to leave and enter the portal now and leave the team, you might have just learned something.
No, I think it's possible. He's definitely got an NFL future, but it's just a different world now. It seems like he's been happy at Ohio State all year. He hadn't heard any problems.
No.
And he knew his role going in. He'd be splitting time with Travion because he's a stud. I wouldn't be shocked because it's a new world now where, if you're a guy, usually if you're a running back, you get to the NFL as fast as you can because your shelf life's shorter. Mm-hmm. But if he's going to be probably a third or fourth round pick, which is probably what he'd be. He's definitely an NFL guy. I'm not saying he isn't. He's just not a first rounder. And hardly any NFL, college running backs first round guys. Ohio State's going to pay him. If they pay him over $1 million to come back, that's more than he'd make as a third or fourth round pick.
Yeah. There's no better place to be than Columbus if you are. I guess my point is, and I know other schools can do it too, but we're able to pay these dudes.
No doubt. Y'all spent $20 million on your NIL this year.
Oregon spent 23. I want that narrative to get out there too. Everyone bitches about Ohio State overspending and getting the best team. Oregon spent more than us and we beat them.
What I want to know is how much y'all got to pay. Jeremiah Smith ain't going anywhere. I'm not even suggesting that, but I wonder how much he's going to get paid.
If I was Larry Ellison in Michigan,
Just go to him and say, here's $12 million.
But like more than that, I would say like there would be nothing more embarrassing for Ohio State than if our best player, and we won the national championship, went to Michigan. It's like the Kirk Herbstreit thing. It's like he's not going to fucking play at Michigan, but they trolled us by doing it, and we fell for it. What if Larry Ellison came in and was like, hey, Jeremiah Smith, I'll give you $40 million to transfer to Michigan?
That would what's it that make
How
him
do you say no?
Make him an offer.
I would say no. Fuck that guy.
Make him an offer he can't refuse. I don't know. I just feel like y'all are going to pay him a few million. And,
yeah, he's staying. He's fucking awesome.
Oh, I mean,
he loves Ryan Day. That's why you have to keep Ryan Day. Ryan Day.
I never thought y'all had to fire him. I mean, but I also don't understand because you grew up in this, and like I understand, especially this year's Michigan loss because 3 in a row is just unspeakable.
Yep.
But the fourth one to lose as a 21-point favorite on your home field, it's like that's something that literally can't happen.
And think what we're coming off, Mintzy. So when I grew up, the first formidable, I don't know what the fuck, formative years
or formative
were
formative.
Jim Tressel for me.
Okay, I remember 01.
What'd he go? Did he go 9-1? 9-1 against Michigan. So I was used to winning.
And then Urban went 7-0.
Well, we had Luke Fickell for 1 year. It was my freshman year of college. We had Tressel got absolutely railroaded, the biggest bullshit in the history of college sports.
Tattoo scandal.
How dare he? And my freshman year, Luke Fickell was the coach. And we lost to Denard Robinson. And I said, we're going to go out and we're going to get a dude from Ohio, and we're never going to feel like this again. I went out and I got Urban Meyer, 7-0. So for my lifetime, we're 16-2. And then we get this Ryan Day fellow, and he kicks the fucking piss out of him year 1. But year 1 is Urban's dudes, right? Year 2, Jim Harbaugh waves the white flag. So now I'm 17. I would call it 18-2 in the last 20 games. What's up, Beef?
What's up?
I'm 18-2 in the last 20 games, and we lose. It's like the worst day of my life. And then we lose again. It's the worst day of my life. And then we lose again. It's the worst day of my life. Then we lose again as 21-point favorites. We've lost 4 in a row. That can't happen from Mr. New Hampshire up at fucking Ryan Day. But I am back on his side.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you win a national title, that's kind of the ultimate goal.
It is not, Mintzy. There are 3 ultimate goals. We failed at 1, but it will be good to win the national title.
All right. We have Barstool Beef join us a sec. Before we get out of here, where would you rank of all the Ohio State teams you've seen, and there have been so many great ones, where would you put this 2024 team?
They're the most talented. They lost, but they're the most talented. College football's gotten really good too. It's no longer everyone has good players now. They're spread out. People can pay their players. I don't think that 2002 team had to go play a team like Oregon until the national.
Well, yeah, the 02 team was they weren't explosive on offense. I mean, they ran the ball, played D. They had Maurice Claret. And, you had Krenzel who would, make enough plays running the ball. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't, an explosive team.
That's my favorite team of all time because – and I argued this with Brandon Walker the other day. Brandon Walker acted like it wasn't that big of an upset when we beat
They were
Miami.
plus 11.5. I remember it.
I
bet Ohio State money line is why I remember the exact line. And I was 18, and I had Ohio State money line in that game.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Had Miami not won 30 straight fucking games?
Yeah, that was the last of the 3 great U runs. That was the last one.
Yeah, they were being argued.
I think Willis McGahee's knee injury still hurts me to have watched.
Yeah, that sucked. But remember when Maurice Claret just took the football out of, was it Sean Taylor?
Yeah.
Sean Taylor, rest in peace.
And then I remember the pass interference flag that came 30 seconds after that incompletion.
Hey, better late than never is my stance on that. That was my favorite team of all time. But no, when you're talking about talent, this team is extremely talented. It's crazy to think about C.J. Stroud, Marvin Harrison Jr. never beat Michigan.
That's crazy. The team that won the title was insanely talented too. I mean, it was Zeke, Bosa.
That was my senior year.
Zeke, Bosa, Mike Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that team was insane.
We lost to Virginia Tech in week 2 that
year.
Yeah,
it was early, and then y'all lost early and bounced back.
Zeke
I remember the Sugar Bowl when Zeke ran for 230.
That's my favorite. So my 2 favorite sports highlights of all time. One has to be Zeke because we won the game. Remember when Rajay Davis hit the home run in the World Series against the Cubs?
Yeah.
That was the other one. But Zeke going 85 yards through the heart of the South will forever be my favorite moment in sports history.
There you go. Well, Tate, Vote. He's going to have his announcement later today.
Yeah, TikTok comments or Twitter replies. Vote.
There you go.
Don't complain if you don't vote.
Like I say, you're not allowed to have a voice if you don't vote. That's politics too, right? All right. Thanks to Tate for joining us here on Wake Up Mintzy, and Tate subbing out. We're going to be joined by Barstool Beef, the newest employee at Barstool Sports, and already got a lot of roadies in this office. I got to say, you like the Stool, crazy place to work, but everybody's pumped to have Barstool Beef here. It's been a lot of fun so far. And before we get to beef, I want to remind everyone, Surviving Barstool back tonight. Last night's episode was freaking crazy. The Pink Wedding, maybe one of the wildest episodes of reality TV history. Reviews are, just unbelievable. But check it out. We'll have shows again tonight and tomorrow night. We're doing Monday through Wednesday this week because of the college football playoff on Thursday night. That's tonight at 7. Surviving Barstool back. And if you didn't watch last night, I would go back and do that immediately because that is literally iconic reality TV. And now we're joined by Barstool Beef. And, man, what's up, man?
What's going on, man?
Doing good, man. Just thanks for coming in. And just want to say it's been a lot of fun. I know you've been here, I guess, 2 weeks now?
4 days.
4 days. Okay.
Last Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday.
Well, that feel like you're fitting in good already. People love having you around. You're bringing great content to the office. And, I think so far, so good. Can you get close? Can you pull that mic? You can pull it up.
This is all new to me, everybody. So, like, if I'm...
Yeah, no worries.
How do I counterbalance this thing?
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Even better. All right. We're getting there.
Yeah, you're good. But,
you gotta remember, I didn't come from this world. I came from golf, swing life world.
And so that's what I wanted to get into. What I always like to do on here is have people on and hear about background stories. So how'd you get into content, and how'd you wind up getting here?
Yeah, so super unique. I was kind of a prototypical Barstool hire where I was making content for a golf course and doing swing tip videos just for the love of making content, trying to get people better at golf and shooting better scores. And Riggs and Frankie saw the page, liked the page, had been a part of the Thornberry Creek page for forever, and was like, Dave, we need to hire this guy. And got an email just past Thanksgiving. And within 2 emails, 3 or 4 phone calls, it was locked in, locked up. So obviously happy to be part of the team here. Looking forward to another great opportunity and getting people better at golf through swing tip videos. I put out a Tip Tuesday series. You'll have one that comes out today. We'll also have a Friday fix. So we'll take fan-submitted video clips, and then I'll review their swing and give them some tips on that. And then starting this Sunday, you'll have a series called Swings from the Stool, which will be all of our Barstool athletes, people behind the camera, employees, whether it's this office or the New York office, and just showing like, hey, we're all human. Golf's such a tough sport to play, but we can all get better. And you'll see some fun swings, some interesting swings, the good, bad, and the ugly for sure.
Well, he's told me he's going to work with me on mine, which will be something because I've swung a golf club like 12 times in my life.
That's all right. We'll make it happen. Everybody's got to start somewhere. That's the thing you have to remember. Like the sport is tough to learn, but even Tiger Woods started somewhere. So there's going to be some bad swings, but the aha moment for me being an instructor when my students get I get it now is the number one feeling. I don't think there's a better feeling in the world. Hell
yeah. So, okay. So you grew up playing golf? You've always been like, how did you get into it?
Yeah. So I grew up playing golf. Grandparents taught me at a super young age, 3 years old from me. I have an older brother. He's also a PGA pro in Wisconsin. He was 5, and we would go down hole number 1 at the local golf course and then come up number 2. And that was the extent that we played for forever when we were just junior golfers. The club pro there was very nice and was like, we're going to charge you guys $10 to go down hole 1 and up hole 2 and walk and go hit it and have fun and enjoy. And now I get a chance to give back to the golf community, which is the best thing for me, right? Being able to get people to shoot better scores, think about golf in a different way so that they can achieve their goals. Okay.
And then when did you start doing the content?
So I started doing the content about 5 years ago when I was in Southern California at a golf course, and then I took it to Thornberry Creek United in Green Bay, and that's where it's kind of exploded a little bit more with Instagram and Facebook and everything from that aspect. And now it's all full-time Barstool Chicago offices. You'll see some stuff coming out with the 4Play guys here at the end of January, I want to say. We'll take a couple different trips. So really, really excited for it.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. And so do you, what's your handicap?
So when you're a PGA member, you play to a 0 handicap. So if I went out and played with other PGA members, just like the guys on tour, Scotty Scheffler's not giving strokes to anybody in the field when he's playing in these events or anything, right? But physically playing, I'm somewhere between 4 or 5.
Damn.
From that aspect. There's PGA pros that are plus handicaps. I'll be the first to put my hand up and say, like, I'm not gonna wow you probably in terms of some of the things that you see from golf game, but yeah, I can hit a golf ball fairly well.
Clearly,
on the golf course. So
what's funny is, like, your office, you're just set up at the golf simulator.
Yeah, I just set up in the golf simulator, and
that's such a, like, this office cracks me up. I mean, you've got all kinds of stuff going on. I mean, we got a new gym being built right now, hell, right by you.
We've got Brandon Walker taking swings. We got Big Cat. We got Cons from the New York office sent me swing videos already. We've probably had Chef Donnie's been in there. Wonton Don's been in there. In the past 4 days, we've probably had 10 or 12 people that have just like, hey, can we take a look at some swings? Can we hit some shots? And everybody always wants to hit the same shot. Just wants a smash driver as far as it goes. And yes, driving's important in the game of golf, but we got to remember, right? We need some irons. We need some wedge play. There's different facets, not just watch me try to hit 300 yards with a driver.
I can hit the driver. I can't get an iron up.
All right, we just got to get you to brush the turf a little bit more.
Okay.
So leading edge of the club needs to come in, go underneath the golf ball, so that way we have positive launch.
As far as, like, following golf, who's, like, your favorite? Do you have any particular favorite golfers or favorite?
Yeah,
bets?
So my favorite guy on tour right now is Colin Morikawa. Just took second at Century Tournament in Hawaii. I think this year Ludwig Oberg has a couple of majors.
Yeah, he was last year. He showed a lot for somebody young.
Yeah, so if you're this futures betting, right? So if this is a futures bet, we'll call this the dry age bet. Put some money on Ludwig Oberg to win a major here.
He was in a couple of them last year.
He had
Texas Tech, right?
I think so. Yep. He had 5 second place finishes, and the guy just smashes the ball. I mean,
it's crazy to me following golf. There's just, the college scene is so much tougher and better now that every year it's just new blood coming in. It's got to be so hard for guys that are getting in their 30s to keep up, because the influx of talent every year is just mind-blowing.
Yeah, and you only have 175 guys on tour, right? So there's only a select few of them that get to play a week on the PGA Tour. And if you think the guys that are hitting the golf ball now on tour are long-distance hitters, wait 2 or 3 more years when you get more of these college kids that are really striping the golf ball even further. You've even seen it from 5 years ago. I mean, driving distances were 300, 320, 330. I mean, there's guys out there now that are hitting the ball even further than that, and that's why USGA and RNA looked at things like, how do we roll the golf ball back and not really allow these guys to hit it that far? The one thing I would say for anybody out there that's playing golf is, let's say a tour athlete is playing a 440-yard par 4. Well, they're hitting driver pitching wedge into the hole, or driver 9-iron. And if, let's say, we go out and play, we're going to be hitting driver 5-iron or driver hybrid or driver 8-iron. There's way more scoring chances that they have because they hit the ball farther. And what you can do as a recreational player is just play the correct tee box. So if they're hitting driver pitching wedge in, what tee box should you be playing from then if you want to hit driver pitching wedge in? Give yourself 1 million more scoring chances and make your game like a tour player's game, not a, hey, I'm a guy, so I have to play all the way back and hitting driver 3-wood into a par 4. Like, that's just not fun to go out and try to do that.
It's not feasible. That makes sense. So what are some of your favorite, like, as far as following PGA, do you have a particular favorite events you like watching? Or
Yeah, this year's an interesting year. So we have the Ryder Cup this year. It's going to be Bethpage Black. So
that's
a super fun event. That and the President's Cup are fantastic events. I think every year on tour you look at, the majors, and you look at Augusta, and you look at U.S. Opens, depending on where those are at. The event was the closest to me that I've seen the most in person is the American Express. It's out in the Southern California desert. I spent 7 years out there as a PGA Pro at Desert World Golf Resort, so that was literally in our backyard pretty much, and you could just go to that event. The great perk about being a PGA professional is I have a complimentary ticket to any single PGA Tour event.
Oh, wow.
So I just show my PGA ID, get a ticket. It only works for me. It doesn't work for, like, friends and family or anything like that, but any year I want to go to Masters, I can go do that. Never been. This year's the first year, so
you're going to Masters?
Looking forward to it, yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I've been a couple times. It's man, it's unbelievable. It's one of those things where you see the HD on TV, but it's even greener when you're there in person.
Well, and the sport's so unique. Like, you watch on television, then you sit there in person, you're like, these guys are crushing the ball, right? You see the shot trackers now on television, you're like, what shape is that happening? And they are so good at executing that to 100% every single time, where, you know, they're not going to show some of the guys on tour where if you're struggling and having a bad day, they're not showing the shots that, hey, this guy hit it 40 yards offline into the woods, unless he has a big recovery shot from that aspect. So I think when you're watching PGA Tour coverage, it looks like they're making everything, but there's also players in the field that are not having the best of days, and, you know, they're making bogeys here and there or double bogeys here and there too. So it happens. It happens with everybody for sure.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm glad you're getting to go to the Masters. Sounds like you got big plans, good content ideas. How are you enjoying Barstool so far, 4 days in?
Barstool is fantastic. It's a little bit different coming from not the corporate life, but just like of a more, hey, structured, this is what we're doing all these days, to coming up and using the creative side of, okay, what content ideas are we come up with? What are we planning to do 6, 8, 12 months from now for some of those content ideas to then pull it off in fruition? But absolutely love the first 3 or 4 days here at the Chicago offices, and looking forward to growing.
How's Chicago going for you so far?
Chicago's awesome. This is I think the best city in the country. A little bit of a bias. I am from Illinois originally, so like coming down watching Cubs games are fantastic. But you have to put Chicago on your list if you've never been before. I would rank it better than LA by 50 times. And you just have everything at your hands here. You can do whatever you want to. You go down and see the Bean, you go to Navy Pier, you go to a Cubs game, you go sporting events, you can take the architectural tours. There's so much that the city has to offer that you really can be here for months and not see a whole bunch of things. Shed Aquarium, if you've never been, is fantastic.
All right, I got to check out some of that stuff. No, I agree. Like, I've been here a little over a year, and I love it too. I mean, you got to get through this winter part where it's not going to be higher than 25 for the next 2 weeks. But like, as bad as that is, that's the only negative about living here. And I mean, I came from the New Orleans summers.
Yeah.
And the summers down, it's like apples and oranges, the South summers versus the Chicago winters. They both suck. So, I mean,
I'd say we have 8 or 9 months of really good weather. Like, growing up in the Chicagoland area, we would have snow all the time in December, even Thanksgiving time period, and now it's just shifted further and further back. So January, February, March suck. We got 90 days of no good weather, and then you're looking forward to spring, you know, golf courses of opening here to play golf outside. Get into summer, we get into baseball season. So 90 days of bad, no fun weather, cool, snowy, gloomy-ish for 9 months of great weather, I'd say.
I think that's a fair trade. Well, awesome. Well, I just want to say, welcome to Barstool. Thrilled to have you. Everybody in the office loves you so far from everything I can see. You know, we got a wild cast of characters, but it seems like you're fitting right in, and, you know, you've got a really good niche going right now.
Yeah.
With it, and so I'm looking forward to just having you around. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mintzy. Thanks for having me on the show today.
Heck yeah. Shout out Stella Blue and Dude Wipes as always. And shout out Tyler Moody holding down the fort in Louisiana. Thanks to Barstool Tate for joining us. Let's have a day, boys. I'm in a good freaking mood.
Let's go have a
It's
day.
2025. Like, I'm feeling recharged, re-energized. Let's go do the damn thing. Thanks again for everybody.
Thanks, Mintzy.
Appreciate it, man. That was fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.